So you want to get a full grain leather case for your iPhone 17 Pro Max, or any of the 17 range for that matter. So you hop over to the usual suspects. Let's check Ryan London. Yikes, £59. Okay, maybe let's try Nomad. Wowzers, that's even more, £69. Okay, what about Bullstrap? What? That's $99 or about £74. That's even more expensive. What if I told you you can get a full grain leather case of basically identical quality to the brands mentioned above for £23 or $31.50? Stick around and I will show it to you. Now, this isn't a knock against Ryan London, Nomad, Bullstrap, or anyone else. They have their own costs that they need to cover, etc., etc. So their pricing is their pricing. But as a consumer, you get to choose where you get your case from. Just a note, I'm not affiliated with any of the brands mentioned in this video, and everything you see I've bought with my own money. Now, over the last few years, for basically, where is it gone? Now, over the last few years, for basically every iPhone I've had a leather case from Ryan London. I've still got my one from the iPhone 16 Pro Max here because I haven't sold it yet on eBay, and they are fantastic quality. Beautiful full grain saddle brown leather that patinas really nicely and just looks awesome. I've also had several of Nomad's modern leather cases, and they have equally good rustic brown Horween leather that also patinas really, really nicely. I haven't yet bought a Bullstrap because even though they have a lifetime warranty, their pricing has generally been a bit too high for me, and I'm not a fan of open bottom cases. They do though have a closed bottom case now. They also have a very unique design for the iPhone 17 Pro Max series, where they've covered the camera plateau to strangely make it look more like an iPhone 16 Pro. But it does cover up the potentially scratch-prone aluminium of the camera plateau, so at least it does have a functional use alongside having an interesting aesthetic. Whilst you're here, don't forget to subscribe. I release videos on average twice a week, and I've got lots more content lined up for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, Apple Watch Ultra 3, and the AirPods Pro 3. Well, I was hunting around the internet and I found this, the Lucky Coin MagSafe case in full grain leather. On their website, they state that the case has handcrafted full grain leather, it's MagSafe, and has a camera button. Now, these guys are based in China, so I was a little skeptical. If I order this, am I going to get some vegan leather nonsense? Is it actually going to be full grain leather, or am I basically going to be duped? But you know what? For £23, I took the punt, and what has arrived has surprised me a lot. The case arrived in simple but effective black box with foam lining. Nothing special, so I'm not going to bother showing you that. Now, my first thought was, I've seen this before. More on that in a sec. The next was the smell. That strong leather smell that I love every time I've opened a Ryan London leather case, present and accounted for. I thought, this is promising, but I wanted to check if it was actually leather or whether this was a PU or vegan leather. Now, a good way to test that is to put some leather conditioner on and see what happens. Whenever I get something made of nice leather, I put some leather honey leather conditioner on. It helps condition and soften the leather and protects it from water, and also helps get that nice patina started. Having applied this many times to good quality leather, and also having seen what happens when you apply it to vegan leather, I know that real leather will soak the conditioner in, whereas the vegan leather, the conditioner kind of just sits on top and gets pushed around. Well, this case drinks it up very, very nicely. So we've definitely got real leather, and it's soaked in a very similar way to all the other full grain leather goods I have, in the similar way to the Ryan London leather case did. So I can only assume that this is actually real full grain leather for £23. So let's take a look around the case. You've got a nice soft lining on the inside, a MagSafe ring, and a Lucky Coin logo stamped into the leather. The leather wraps nicely all the way around the inside of the case as well, which is really nice to see. So let's put the case onto the phone. Now it goes on with a very confident thunk when you put all the corners in. The buttons are nice, clicky and responsive. And let's check out the camera control. So that works very nicely, as well as and as well as any other camera buttons I have on any other cases. The bottom has cutouts for the speakers and the USB-C, and the case fits extremely tightly, like to the point where it is tough to get the phone out. Tough, but doable. Your phone isn't going to be stuck forever in here, although there are worse places it could get stuck. On the back, you've got that interesting camera plateau design that we saw on the Bullstrap case, where it looks a bit like an iPhone 16 Pro because they've covered up a good chunk of the camera plateau with leather. Initially, I didn't like this because it hides the fact that it's a 17 Pro Max rather than a 16 Pro Max. But the more I see it and use my phone, the less it bothers me, especially because it does actually protect the large exposed aluminium portion that has been shown to be relatively easy to scratch. You've got to protect that resale value for when the 18 Pro Max rolls around next year. Taking a look at the MagSafe strength, it's got very good MagSafe strength and it easily picks up this anchor base, and it has not fallen off my car mount either, so MagSafe is doing really well. And the leather it's absolutely beautiful, with lovely character and variation in the grain and colour that you'd expect from a well-made full grain leather case. And then the price, which is roughly a third of the premium branded alternatives. Heck, this case looks identical to the most expensive case I mentioned earlier, the Bullstrap case. I'm not saying it is the same case because I don't know that for sure, but I would be very surprised if the two cases aren't made by the same manufacturer in China. Again, not saying they are, because however unlikely it is to happen, I don't want to get sued, but I would be very surprised if they weren't the same case. So there you have it, a premium full grain leather case at a fraction of the cost of the leading brands on the market. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel to see more of me. I will leave a link for the case in the description. It's not an affiliate link, it's just a link so you know where to get it. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks.